The idea is to, lap onto the opportunities provided now, and collaborate with some really good creative artists. Like Meghna ji is absolutely stark from what Aarti Kadam does, and what Cargo was, it was entirely different. I think I would want to believe that I am one of those men who concede that, yes, the world and men especially have been very unfair towards women.
Hi guys, this is Ankita. You're tuned into PeepingMoon.com, and we cannot let go 2020 without having the best man on the show. Why I call him so? Because when the year went by, if you close it, we have not one, not two, not three, but four beautiful performances from someone who made it show कि लॉकडाउन से पहले भी, लॉकडाउन के बीच में भी, and लॉकडाउन के बाद में भी, he will never stop entertaining us. Let's have someone with a massive fan following these days. Vikrant Massey, welcome on show.
Thank you so much, Ankita. It is such a pleasure talking to you again. And as I say, you're always very considerate. So thank you for the kind words.
Thank you. Vikrant, this is the best of 2020, and it's impossible to not call you. If I have to ask you, knowing of course 2020 has not been a kind of year around us, we have seen a lot of things change in our ecosystem, in our surroundings. But then we always look for positivity. We have to move on in life.
Sure.
What was your positive ray this year? If and even as a performer, if there was something which you really clung on to, the most positive thought.
Uh, like I see it as a positive thing. I think because of COVID-19, all of us, went through unprecedented changes, and the value for life, the fragility of life. A lot of people around me also were like, कि अरे फैमिली के साथ इतना टाइम बिताया कि अब पता चलता है कि यार फैमिली अच्छी अच्छी फैमिली है यार, अच्छे लोग हैं. Getting to spend a lot of time with your family. But professionally, if you ask me, I think people have been very very kind. As you said, lockdown ke pehle bhi, lockdown ke through bhi, and even after the lockdown, so people have been very kind. काफी लोग घर पे थे, and at least for the first 3 to 4 months, nobody knew what was happening. And my collaboration with Netflix, today at least very proudly I can sit back and say, all of us are very happy with how things shaped up. People really really lapped on to all the films that came out, and those films are very different. वो अलग अलग genres की film थी. So I am really grateful, really really grateful. In fact, मतलब कभी कभी सिंक इन नहीं होता है कि इतना कुछ होने के बाद भी मतलब लगभग 4 फिल्में आ गई, और चारों वेरिड परफॉर्मेंसेस थे, अलग अलग कॉन्सेप्ट्स थे, and people liked it. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to starting my new year, which is 2021, with another film which is called Ram Prasad Ki Tervi, and that comes out on the 1st of January. So yeah, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. Let's see how it goes. So everything is positive so far, but not exactly the way one wants it to be. But as you said, one has to look out for that, silver lining.
Vikrant, what started beautifully was the year with Chapak, a big mainstream film. I remember we were literally anticipating how it will do, and by the time we really loved it, we had to go through the lockdown, and then we saw, I honestly was like, okay, a good performance for the year, and then it started. Then we had you in Cargo, we had you in Guinea, but I would have to give you Dolly Kitty here. That is something if I have to pick out. I mean, you
Thank
being this shrewd guy who's ready to do anything in love or lust, I don't even know how to put it. But on a generic note, four starkly different characters. There was not a single note which was same. Was that a conscious call? If not so, if it just happened in line, is it easy to step into four different shoes at the same time? Because I presume you must be shooting almost like in
नहीं,
the same time.
नहीं, नहीं अंकिता, ऐसा नहीं है. I don't shoot for two things at one time. I always shoot for only one thing at one time. And it was semi-conscious, you can actually see that. When Chapak came to me, I lapped it onto it. I knew that I had to do the film even without reading the script. You know, when Meghna ji offered me the film, my heart said a yes. मेरे को ये भी नहीं पता था कि film exactly क्या है. Obviously, I'd heard of and read of Lakshmi's story, but then the other films were, all of it is somewhere down the line very semi-conscious, if I can put it that way. The idea is to lap onto the opportunities provided now, and collaborate with some really good creative artists. Like Meghna ji is absolutely stark from what Aarti Kadam does, and what Cargo was, it was entirely different. So it's kind of semi-conscious to portray different characters, to play parts that challenge me as an actor. And then also, I sort of, forayed into the classical Bollywood song and dance with Ginni and Sunny. And I was honestly, when I actually saw the film the day it came out, when I saw the finished product, Janta ke saath baith ke maine Netflix pe dekhi, I was embarrassed of what I had done. You know, honestly, I was really embarrassed. I'm like, oh my god, I really don't think this is the space that I should tap into. But after realizing that for 8 weeks, we were trending, and it happens to be one of the most successful ventures. I think now in retrospect I can sit back and think, ki, it sort of did well. The film did well for the audiences. It did well for all of us who were a part of it. And then Cargo. So yeah, I'm really glad. I'm really, most importantly, very grateful to the writers who actually see me. उन्होंने मुझे अब तक bracket नहीं किया है, and neither is the audiences. Neither of the audiences. So it's something that is a very privileged position to be in. वरना आमतौर पे आपको ब्रैकेट कर दिया जाता है कि अच्छा ये रोमांटिक हीरो है, ये सीरियस एक्टर है, ये है. तो people really are liking what I'm doing, so I'm just looking forward to carrying it on from here on.
Why I honestly picked out Dolly was because I read it in a lot of comments from your fans and even critics that it would be lovely to see Vikrant doing something borderline gray or negative, because
Yeah.
it was, I thought it was a delish part, like not the
Yes.
kind of part I thought Vikrant would ever do. Like
But I
he's
think Alankrita always offers me these parts. Even
like
in even in
he's so
lipstick under my
sweet.
burqa, she gave me something borderline gray. But Dolly Kitty के बारे में हमने बात नहीं की. The best compliments, or kind words that I've got from people are, you were so good that we hated you. And that was the idea, to evoke that sense, in people who are watching the film. You really want to feel bad for the women in that film, because the world, unfortunately, is not a fair place. You are also somewhere down the line representing a chunk of society. And तो यही एक होता है कि कोई जो भी इंसान अपने लैपटॉप स्क्रीन पे या टेलीविजन स्क्रीन पे या थिएटर में अगर वो फिल्म देख रहा है, the idea is to evoke a sense of belonging to that story. And today, as we know, we also spoke about it, content is king. Content is something that drives most of the things today. So yeah, I'm really glad, and all credit goes to Alankrita for yet again having me in one of her films. And I'm so happy that people actually saw it the way we wanted them to see it. Yeah.
Vikrant, do you realize that you have been one of the few, and I would actually say very few actors in Bollywood or in industry, let's put it this way, who are always championing women cause in their films, some way or the other. Have you realized in your trajectory that something very slightly and silently it's underlined, that you're
I
all,
think
you're not it's not like I want to take the center position, but the way you come out and the way it shines out is there's this man standing behind, and it's that's a very acute observation I was discussing with someone. Have you
right.
ever realized that?
It is a conscious decision. It is something that very seldom one does get an opportunity, unfortunately, to speak on issues that are prevalent and that matter. And unfortunately, हमें पता है कि हमारी society इतने सालों से patriarchal रही है. It is only lately in the last 10 or 20 years that we've seen women asking for whatever uh, the rightful position that they deserve in the society. And now we have so many women storytellers who are coming out, and who've been closeted, who really kept things amped up within, and they want to tell their story. And I think I would want to believe that I am one of those men who concede that yes, the world and men especially have been very unfair towards women. things around, just society has been, patriarchal in nature. उसका उसका उसके कॉन्स जो हैं और उसके प्रोज जो हैं, तो उसको मैं कहीं ना कहीं शायद रिकग्नाइज करता भी हूँ. And I want to tell things that I feel very strongly within through my films, through the stories that I do. uh, and this is the only way that I really want to communicate with the audiences, and want to share what I individually feel about things that matter. And so this happens to be one of the causes. I think I will try doing whatever I can within my capacity. uh, I cannot play a girl, but वो भी मौका मिलेगा तो कर लेंगे. But I think there are some really pressing issues that need to be spoken about. So I'm just trying to do my bit through my work.
That's lovely. On a lighter note, Vikrant, I know you have a hectic here, but whatever time you have got on your hands, is there something on Vikrant's list of recommendations, something which we can put across saying, okay, Vikrant, so this all year, or something you really wanted to see, but due to the hectic schedule, you had to put on hold and you're still waiting.
I think things that I've really enjoyed. Honestly, unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to sit back and savor lengthy series because वो और मेरे से binge watching होती नहीं है. So I watch it like 2-3 घंटा देखता हूँ एक film तक देखता हूँ 2-3 घंटा, and then I watch it again later. But I think most of the things that people have already recognized and appreciated are things that I've liked. I fell in love with Patal Lok. And recently we know that Patal Lok won so many awards at the Flix Film Fair Awards. Patal Lok was a breath of fresh air. It was fantastic. Uh, I really enjoyed watching Scam. Scam was fantastic. Hansal Mehta is one of the finest directors we have around, and he's one of the most economical directors too. So it's such a great combination. And some fantastic performances. Pratik Gandhi was outstanding. Jaideep sir was, he was outstanding. Uh, I did manage to watch this series called Tehran. I'm sorry for the lack of better options because, as I said, I haven't seen a lot. Tehran was a show on Apple Plus, if I'm not wrong, and it was something that really kept me hooked onto it for a while. It's a mini series. It's an 8 episode series. I really enjoyed watching that, and also because at that particular point in time when I actually saw that, I happened to just sort of surf through Apple TV, and I found that because I was already reading something about Mossad. So I was like, अरे वाह कमाल है, तो मतलब ये भी मोसाद के ऊपर ही है, ये भी देखते हैं. So it was interesting. Kamyab was one film which was made by Hardik Mehta. It was fantastic. I loved that film, and a lot of people really respected and really adored the film. So these are things that I liked, and what else can I say? Yeah, I think these, at least homegrown content, agar main kahun, so Kamyab, Patal Lok, and Scam, they really were the benchmark this year. Unfortunately, because we didn't have cinemas functioning at full capacity, abhi bhi nahi hai. So just keeping my fingers crossed to some great movies also next year.
Vikrant, you're in a tricky position where I have asked this to many actors as well. I will not say that is OTT good or is theater better. That's not a debate. Rather, do you think finally we're in a position where we, as an audience, at a place where we can command the kind of content we want to see? I think. Do you agree the same? Because it's a matter about finally having that kind of content and the options to see what we want to. Because earlier there's always this debate ki ऑडियंस यही देखना चाहती है बट आई थिंक 2020 has proven it pretty differently. ऑडियंस बहुत कुछ देखना
बहुत
चाहती
कुछ देखना चाहती है. Exactly. The best thing about any form of sorry, entertainment or any form of storytelling in India especially, you will find a wide array of audiences. I think everyone has enough space under the sun. तो and also because ये जो OTT का जो स्ट्रीमिंग प्लेटफॉर्म्स की जो एक शुरुआत आप समझ लीजिए पिछले 5 या 7 साल पहले हुई थी, आज कहीं ना कहीं वो एक फर्म फुटहोल्ड उसको मिल चुका है. And I think because I come from television, we were always told that you have to be worth people's times because your life and career entirely depends on the click of a remote button. So that is how it is. You really have to up your game. Also because today you and I have access to international content. Today you can sit and watch something that is made in Zambia, which 5 years ago was not possible. So it's a very healthy competition, if I can say. You had Delhi Crime. How can I forget Delhi Crime? Delhi Crime winning the Emmys this year, the international Emmys. So these are benchmarks. These are subtle changes that are already happening in the ecosystem. And I think the makers, the audiences, everyone realizes this subtle change. Today, people want quality because people really, when you or I or anyone I know around, they want to devote time to something. They want quality out of it. And अगर आपको ये नहीं देखना है तो आप वो भी देख सकते हैं. So there is a wide array of things that are available. And today, as I said, there is enough space for everyone under the sun to just sort of chill and relax. And good stories are here to stay. So let's see how far this goes.
I hope so. It goes very far. Finally, we are at the space. And lastly, before
It's an even playing ground. Today, at least one thing that I can say, I heard a lot of people say this thing, that it's a level playing field today. आज जो एक सटल डिस्पैरिटी ये भी थी कि अच्छा सिनेमा वाले हैं और टीवी वाले हैं और अच्छा ये ओटीटी वाले हैं, वो अब ऐसा नहीं रहा है. आज मिर्जापुर की ही अगर बात करें या पाताल लोक या स्कैम की ही अगर हम बात करें, they are one of the biggest successes across platforms.
And it's not something initially we were also considering. I remember there was a phase when everyone used to say web hai, abuse hai, content nahi hai, nudity hai. I think everyone should pick up this here and see. There is so much more. It's just that, as I said, audience.
But that is also partially true. You really cannot deny that. Uh, at least when it begun, say maybe as I said 5-7 years ago. तो वो
Not
शुरू
में, I think, yeah, as you said, everyone wanted to grab the eyeballs.
Yeah. Especially, the independent stuff that would come out on YouTube, because there was no supervision. So I think a lot of people did go overboard with that. And that is a no for me. I really think, unnecessarily, as you said, eyeballs grab करने के लिए वो था. But abhi, it's an ongoing process. It's a very nascent stage. It's just been 5 to 7 years, Ankita, and a lot of things are going to change now. Now you have major corporates that have come in. Now it's become a massive business model. You have some of the biggest films that would have otherwise released in theaters that are coming, on OTT platforms, and it's out there. You have some of the biggest names who are there. So slowly and steadily, I think together all of us as one are going to find a right footing and probably take it from there on.
Cross the fingers. Vikrant, before we let you go, I know you haven't watched much of the content, but if hypothetically you get the chance or have got the chance to steal one character and play, now gender no bias, it can be anything. Something which you're like, oh my god, I wish, but then it's just like for fun. One character last year, anything.
One character last year. I think that would be. I would have loved to play Harshad Mehta's part. Though I don't look that way, neither am I a Gujarati. I would have had to work very, very hard on the accent. But because I loved it, I thoroughly loved it. It was so good, and it had some fantastic performances. It had probably one of the best technical crew. To work with them, it would have been a dream come true.
But there's always a tomorrow, and I'm hoping that when we start with 2021, there is this beautiful lineup. So when next time we sit together, I can be like, "Oh, Vikrant, someone wants to steal your role also." So let's do that.
I hope so. I hope
But
so.
thank you, Vikrant, for taking out.
Thank you,
It
Ankita. It is
really
always such a
means a lot.
pleasure talking to you. Yeah.
But I'm just hoping the new year brings you lots of happiness. You bring us
All
lots
of
of, and we are really
all of
waiting
us.
for it. Yes,
A
and
lot of positivity, a lot of happiness, a lot of good health, most importantly now,
most importantly,
and a lot of
as
peace
we
of
always
mind.
say, that spending time with the family, do that, all of us.
I think we should do that, no?
We should do that.
We
We
should do
should be definitely doing that. But
that.
hopefully, after the screen, we meet sometime in person soon
In
and take this
person.
again. Thank you
Yes.
so much for your
Thank you,
time.
Ankita. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.